Hey, welcome to one of many lanterns. I'm gonna do another fun little makeup tutorial for a look inspired by the holiday of Yule or winter solstice. We're gonna use some frosty highlighter, a bunch of green eyeshadow, and a little bit of a white cream eyeshadow. The goal here is to look a little bit like sunrise on a snowy forest. Let's see if we can do it. Starting out with some gentle color correction. I normally don't do this for looks that I'm intending to eventually bring into ritual, but I'm also going to be filming after this. Filming another video, and I want to look slightly nicer for that. Winter solstice is the longest night of the year, when the Earth is the most tilted away from the sun that it'll be for the entire year. I'm going to start really quickly with the look by patting some setting powder all over my eye socket so that everything else has something to blend into. And then we're going in with these two dark green colors. One's darker and sparkly, one is slightly lighter and matte. We're just gonna press this into the outer corner and the crease, the eye socket. In the United States, winter solstice is the beginning of winter, whereas in other countries, the seasons are marked by like the months. I think in the UK, it tends to be marked by December 1st instead of December 21st. Should be doing this with a flat brush so I can get more in and more accurate. There we go. Now, because winter solstice, or Yule, or Alban Arthan, takes place close to Christmas, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, a lot of our traditions inherit from Christian celebrations of Christmas. And some people will say that that's because all of those Christmas celebrations and Christmas traditions were inheriting and stealing from solstice. The problem there, we can trace a lot of Christmas traditions to specific time periods. When did Christians start bringing in a tree? And where did Christians start bringing in a tree? Or putting tinsel or candles on the tree? When did they start gift giving? When did they start putting out a nativity scene? We can mark this. There used to be a rumor that Santa Claus being depicted as wearing red and white is a reference to Odin, because he's an old man, and then the red and white as a reference to psilocybin, to poisonous and psychedelic mushrooms. Problem there is that the ubiquity of the red and white clad Santa Claus comes from the 1950s from a Coca-Cola marketing campaign. And that's the sort of stuff that is kind of part of the winter solstice discourse. I'm going in with this light champagne gold up top to help blend out some of the awkward spots of this green. I'm gonna give the green one more shot before I start going in with my next color. And the thing is, while Christianity did at varying points of its history use violence and oppression in order to convert pagans to Christianity, they also sometimes didn't have to. And sometimes maybe the conversion was violent, but Christians didn't purposely steal pagan aesthetics. Sometimes the former pagans, now Christians, went, I don't want to give up frigid. I don't want to give up this holiday or this festival or this tradition. So I will simply make it Christian now. as opposed to coming from the top, the Catholic Church and the rest of Christendom saying, this holy well is now a Christian holy well. It's from the grassroots, these people saying, great-grandmama's holy well, it's a Christian holy well now. So because of that complicated history, I don't like using exclusively Christmas imagery, and Christmas aesthetics, and Christmas associations for my Yule celebrations. Here I'm just using a largely empty brush with a little bit of water in it to clear out the existing eyeshadow on my lid, leaving this bare and maybe touching up some of the other parts. So if I don't celebrate winter solstice as Christmas light, what do I do instead? I'm not using red and green. I'm using silver, gold, and dark green because it is still the beginning of winter. I'm using evergreen bows, I'm using snow, I'm using the sparkle of moon and starlight on snow and the sparkle of the reborn sun. Next up, I'm taking some white cream eyeshadow that I depotted because it was originally in a pencil that wouldn't move. And I'm putting this on the inner crease and fading it, or the inner corner and fading it out. This will be the snow of my look. I use, for my solstice, imagery of evergreens, of wintry forests. Yeah, that's what we like to see. I use cardinals and holly, since those are examples of bright things against the cold black trees. And while there is overlap between these, you know, there are so many Christmas cards with two bright red cardinals on them. That's because the Christmas celebration and I are pulling from the same thing, not because I'm pulling from the Christmas celebration. All right, now that I've thrown down some of the white, I'm going to hit everything with some pressed powder to stop the green that's up in the eye socket from getting onto the white. This is also why I don't really like solstice carols that are just Christmas carols reskinned, unless they are very old Christmas carols. I do kind of like good King Wenceslas and taking that and making it Christian, or making that pagan. All right. We have snow. We have evergreen trees. Now it's time for the morning sun. Take just a tiny bit of this on my finger. That on the inner corner where the white cream shadow is still kind of sticky. Yeah. For all that winter solstice isn't Christmas light, it is beginning of winter, and at the same time, it is when the sun starts coming back. For the past 3 months, the nights have been getting longer and longer and longer every night, and because of that, the power of the plants has been waning. They've been going to bed. Been gearing up for a long, hard winter. And now, the days will be getting longer. The nights will be getting shorter. Winter solstice for me serves as a reminder, one, of the importance of rest, the importance of retreating into solitude, and the importance of the growth that can happen in stillness, and also of the unconquerable sun. The fact that no matter how long the winter, how long the night, how dark your days may seem, there will be brightness that will come through it. No matter how horrible a fascist regime you live in, eventually change will happen and good will prevail. All right, we're gonna put on this nice little cool toned highlighter. We're gonna sprinkle this kind of everywhere up here. For my coven, we celebrate solstice with a night-long vigil. I'm gonna purposely leave my eyelashes unmascaraed because I like the look of the white cream eyeshadow on them, so it looks a little frostbitten. If I had a white mascara, I would definitely use it for this. For sundown of the winter solstice, my coven turns out all of the electronic lights and all of the electronics in the cabin that we rent, and we capture the last ray of the sun and use that inside a little tea light and use that to light 8 candles, which will be the only light that we have for the rest of the night. Those 8 candles represent the 8 holy days of the year. And every hour, on the hour, we extinguish one of the lights. And the amount of light in the cabin gets less and less. The darkness of the winter becomes greater and greater until midnight, when it's time to extinguish the last candle. And we are left in complete pitch darkness, with the exception of the fire. And then a miracle happens. The miracle is me lighting a candle while no one's looking, and 1 candle is lit. And then from midnight on, we light a new candle every hour on the hour to represent the growth of the sun until dawn, when the candles are once again all lit, and we can greet the sun over the trees. As a last part of this look, I have a dark green lipstick. Here's the final look. I'm not gonna throw any eyeliner on it because I think it stands enough on its own, but I think it's fun, it's dynamic. You should use it at home in your solstice gatherings. Like and subscribe and hype and comment on what you think of this. Subscribe because I post once a month and at least, and some of it is little makeup tutorials like this, some of it is crafting and spell crafting videos. Sometimes it's stuff about the culture of paganism or the practice of priestessing. We do a lot here, and if you like this specifically, please, oh god, interact with it because I want to know. I want to know what sort of content you guys like, what sort of videos you find most interesting. This has been Kate Bogg, one of many lanterns. Keep on shining. Thank God my cat's coming down the stairs now as I'm done filming, so you don't have to listen to him go thunk, 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 thunk down the stairs.